British woman who died in Trelawney crash identified. The police have disclosed the identity of a British woman who died from injuries sustained in a collision involving a pickup truck and a motorcycle along a section of the North Coast Highway in Trelawney on Monday night. The deceased has been identified as 54-year-old Lisa Ball from the United Kingdom. According to reports, about 7:40 p.m., Ball was a pillion passenger on a Honda motorcycle being ridden by a British man along the Greenwood Main Road. The crash occurred when the driver of a pickup truck exited a business establishment onto the roadway and crashed into the motorcycle. Both the rider and the pillion passengers were thrown from the motorcycle and sustained injuries. They were taken to hospital, where Ball was pronounced dead. The driver of the motorcycle was treated for minor injuries. The driver of the pickup has since been taken into custody by the Trelawney police for questioning. It seemed like Donnelly was on the road the last time we spoke, friend testifies. A close friend of missing social media influencer Donnelly Donaldson testified that she was of the impression that Donnelly was on the road when they last spoke on the day she vanished. The witness, under cross-examination from defense attorney Christopher Towson, said she formed the view based on the sounds of cars she could hear in the background. The court heard that the conversation took place on July 12, 2022, after 2 p.m. Donaldson, 24, a popular influencer, swimwear entrepreneur, and customer service representative, was reported missing on July 13. Her boyfriend, Constable Noel Maitland, is on trial in the Home Circuit Court for murder and preventing the lawful burial of a corpse in connection with her death. Donaldson's mother, Sophia, previously testified that Maitland had picked up her daughter from home on July 11 and that she spoke to her daughter the following morning but could not reach her after. Donaldson's friend said she spoke to Donaldson on July 12 as she was to collect something from her but was told that there would be a delay. It was this conversation, the witness said, she felt occurred while Donaldson was on the road. However, in answering Towson's question, she said she did not tell the court that in her evidence in chief. However, during re-examination, she said the information was given in her statement. The witness, before ending her testimony, said, while being cross-examined, that she was aware that Donaldson and the mother of Maitland's child had an ongoing dispute. The court, in previous evidence from Sophia, heard that she was told by Maitland that Donaldson left his home on July 12 after they had a minor dispute. Classes at Parton Primary and Infant School dismissed early yesterday due to ongoing water issues. Classes at the Parton Primary and Infant School in St. Anne was dismissed early yesterday due to ongoing water issues. According to the chairman of the school board, Ian Bell, the school and surrounding communities have been without water since last Monday. He told reporters that about 350 students are being impacted. Noting that no water has been trucked to the school, Mr. Bell said he will be giving instructions for classes to be dismissed. Meanwhile, Mr. Bell is calling for the National Water Commission NWC system in St. Anne to be revamped.
As the chairman of the school board and councillor for the area, I have to now give instructions for this primary and infant school to be closed by midday today. We have a total of 359 students there, and there's no way a school can operate without water. We cannot have students and parents and teachers suffering under this condition because of the National Water Commission. So I have to be now asking the parents to come for their children because we have to close school early. And I do not believe that we will resume school again until next week, because they were going to have tomorrow as the last day, but there's no water inside. And since this happened, there's no trucking of water at all to the communities. Not even the school. It is a disgrace. I think it is great negligence of the National Water Commission. It is a shame, embarrassment, and disgrace on the National Water Commission and their performance. And I can't believe that people of St. Anne is going through what they are going through with Minister of Water being a member of Parliament in this very, very parish. I am saying the Water Commission in this parish need to be revamped. St. Anne don't have a water problem. St. Anne have a distribution problem.
Persons who vandalize and steal from telecom sites will face increased penalties. Persons found to be vandalizing and stealing from telecommunications company sites will soon face increased penalties. Telecom Minister Derek Voss gave an update while making his contribution to the sectoral debate. It comes in the wake of complaints from the country's two main telecommunication providers about the problem of vandalism and theft, resulting in millions in losses. Voss said the bill to amend the Penalties Act will be tabled in the lower house.
Theft and vandalism for our telecommunications service providers, which they complain about the additional costs imposed on their businesses because of theft and vandalism of telecommunication infrastructure. Earlier this year, operators were faced with a bill of more than $200,000 through one act of vandalism, while the current penalties in law for these nefarious actions are a mere fraction of the cost. But today, Madam Speaker, laid on the table of the House is another commitment fulfilled as Law Reform Amendment of Penalties Act, which was tabled today in the House, promises a significant increase in the penalties under the Telecommunications Act for trespassing, meddling, interfering, or tampering with any telecommunications facility. We are waging the war on serious crimes and wanton criminality, and we are winning. And we intend to do the same here with theft and vandalism of equipment. The government promised a better Jamaica.
Judge urges jury to keep emotions in check in deciding verdict. High Court Justice Courtney Day, presiding over the Mardine trial, began his summation at the Westmoreland Circuit Court on Tuesday, urging the seven-member jury to base their verdict solely on the evidence, not personal feelings or prejudice. Justice Day emphasized that while he would rule on legal matters, the jury's responsibility was to evaluate the facts presented by both the prosecution and the defense. He reminded them not to let any prior negative experiences with the police influence their judgment, especially since the accused, Corporal Elaine Stewart, Constables Juliana Cleveland and Marlon Grant, were police officers at the time of the incident. The allegations arise regarding their conduct to a citizen, and you are not to be influenced by prejudice, they stated, referring to the prosecution's claim that the officers were negligent during the August 3, 2014 incident. On that day, Dean was allegedly beaten while in custody at the Barnett Street Police Lockup, where he faced a charge of possession of ganja spliff. Justice Day also cautioned the jury against being influenced by sympathy for Dean or his mother, Miss Fraser, the prosecutor's first witness. You should not be influenced by sympathy for the victim, and with all due respect to his mother, you cannot come to a verdict based on sympathy. You have feelings, but it cannot be on that basis for coming to a verdict in this case, stated Day. He reminded the jury that they were the sole judges of the facts and must rely on the evidence presented during the trial. If they found inconsistencies in witness testimonies, they should assess the credibility of the witness. The judge's summation will continue, after which the jury will deliberate and deliver its verdict. Stewart, Cleveland, and Grant faced charges of misconduct in public office and manslaughter of Dean's death, which occurred 3 days after the beating. Stewart is also charged with perverting the Court of Justice for allegedly ordering the cleaning of the cell before the Independent Commission of Investigation's investigators arrived. Millions to be spent on mitigation work ahead of hurricane season, stated Morgan. The government has allocated a total of $172 million to be spent in 63 constituencies to undertake mitigation work ahead of what Minister with responsibility for works, Robert Morgan, has noted will be an active hurricane season, which gets underway on June 1. Based on what we went through with Hurricane Beryl last July, we're not taking any chances this year. We are preparing early and acting fast, Morgan said on Tuesday in a statement in the House of Representatives. At the same time, $300 million has been allocated to carry out essential work on the Sandy Gully in Kingston and St. Andrew. We're putting $100 million into the North and South Gullies in Montego Bay and in St. Catherine. We're allocating $30 million for work in the Bagua Gorge. Another $30 million is going towards drainage improvements along the Dyke Road, Morgan noted. He stated an additional $200 million is set aside for mitigation works along the South Coast, which has been repeated flooding and damage in recent years. This is not business as usual. These are targeted interventions in areas where we know the risks are high, Morgan noted. to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.